Hey, Lee Wolf here. Welcome to Game Face Monday. We are live. Mr. Richie Bello, as always, is letting me sit by his side. And today we have a special guest, David Lowitz from Trade Pending. He's actually the founder, and not the founder.
I wish I was.
I
I
thought
am.
you were a founder.
Yeah, I'm going to give that credit to Bryce Englert. I am the senior regional sales manager.
Okay, all right.
Close
Sorry
enough.
about that one.
Yeah.
But basically, I think what I've learned in just the 5-10 minutes that I've met David before the show is that we can't let the name of the company fool us. There's a lot more than meets the eye, and we're going to learn a lot about that today. How you guys doing?
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks for being with us here today, David. And just going to run a quick sponsor video from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos, and I am not the founder. All right, hold on. Before you spend another dime on marketing and advertising, inspect what you expect. The SSA VIN Retention Report from Shop Smart Autos is the answer. Do you know your retention status? You might be losing hundreds of customers a month, but what if you could keep just a few more? Each retained customer means thousands in revenue, adding up to millions per year. The SSA VIN Retention Report is the inspection tool you've been looking for. Find out what you're missing before it costs you. All right, so we are back. We are live. Thanks for tuning in and listening and watching. We are with David Lowitz of Trade Pending. And like I said earlier, we can't really let the name fool us here because there seems to be a lot more to Trade Pending than what we realized. And but just to start, David, tell us just a little bit about where you're coming from and how you ended up here.
Sure. And again, thank you so much for having me on the show today. My very first job, 5 years old, picking up license plate screws for a penny a piece on my father's lot.
Wow.
So he started when he was 16 years old selling cars on my grandfather's car lot. He's 84 and still buying and selling cars today. The talk around my kitchen table, the dinner table was always car talk growing up. And I don't know what happened, but I waited till I was almost 50 years old before I finally broke into the business.
Wow.
Ended up as the marketing director of a 9-store group down here in South Florida. Trade Pending came in and sold me on their products. Back then, just product, the trade tool itself, I loved it. Started going around to my 20 groups, telling other people about it, and they recognized my enthusiasm for the product. And one day, my rep called me up. He says, "Hey, Dave, listen, I know you're on the dealer side, but told me you used to be in sales and I'm about to get promoted. Do you want to jump over?" And I said, yes. He couldn't even finish the question. I said, yes, absolutely. And that happened to be this September, right before COVID hit, September of 19. So it was a really interesting time. I had never been in automotive sales before, never been in SaaS sales, 30 some years of advertising sales before that, but never in this space. And it's been a hell of a ride almost 6 years later now.
Wow. All right. Pretty cool. And well, all right. So yeah, we all know that there's really, and I know Richie talks about this all the time, there's no real one solution to growing a dealership, to customer retention, which is huge. It's everything. Dealerships need to be focusing on retention. In your case, the beginnings of Trade Pending, bringing those trades in, converting them into sales, converting them into service, converting them into products. Absolutely. Before the show started, we were talking about buckets. And I liked the way you put Trade Pending into those 3 buckets. And if you could just share that with the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, a lot of people here, they hear Trade Pending. I call them up. "Hey, I'm David with Trade Pending. The trade tool. Yeah, we're good." Or, "Oh yeah, we use you." Well, what do you use? Because Trade Pending has grown now. We've been building products, we've been buying companies, and we now have 9 different products effectively that you could talk about. And we break them down into 3 buckets, and that's convert more, sell more, service more.
Right.
And I'm sure we'll be diving deeper into all of that during the call today. But yeah, you could take our conversion tools, and now we're going to turn lookers into leads. That's going to be fall into the convert more bucket. And we do that with our trade tool, with our payments tool. Many of you might remember a company out there called Auto APR. We bought them a couple of years ago. Fantastic acquisition because they were kind of like the peanut butter to our jelly. And it worked really well. We've got that sell more bucket. Once we've helped the dealers generate these leads, we found that a lot of dealers need help conversing with those people. What do you send them? How do you talk to them? What do they need to see? So we went out and we bought Snapcell, the video platform, and we grew another product. We developed a product called AutoBio, because every car has a story. So AutoBio. And then on the service side, once you've sold the customer, now you want to bring them back for service. And we've got video for service, which you can picture as simply as, "Hi, ma'am, I'm the mechanic doing the work on your car. This is your brake pad. It should look like that. You really ought to just get those brakes repaired. Just click that button right there, and we'll go ahead and get that brake job started." And then we also went out and we bought. You guys mentioned that you're both familiar with Owen Moon and Kevin Colma, who founded a company a while back called Fixed Ops Digital. And about 16 months ago, we bought that company. So now we put really solid service offers on dealers' websites so that their prospects, their customers, can go to their site, find out how much an oil change or an alignment or whatever it might be, how much it's going to be, what kind of deals there are right now. And they've got multiple calls to action to be able to go ahead and jump in and either set that appointment or ask for more information.
Wow.
So that's really full circle. And then most recently, and very excitingly, at NADA, we unveiled the product that brings them all together, and that's Value Watch. Value Watch. We're going to talk about that a lot later, but that's what's going to connect sales to service and keep that loop going back and forth. Because as we all know, in the dealership world, sales drive service, drive sales, drive service. And when that loop is working right, a dealership can be extremely profitable.
Man, well, let me tell you, a huge positive for me from what I just heard, and this is only on a personal level. This isn't on a professional level.
Sure.
All the tools sound incredible, but I can't imagine being at home and I have my car in the shop and a text pops in and it's someone holding my brake pad or my oil filter and saying, "Look, this is what we got." I'm always sitting there like, are they even really looking at my brake pads? Are my brake pads fine? And they're just hitting me $650, $800 for rotors and this and that. What an incredible sense of security that would give, to know that your car that's it. Those are your parts right there.
Let me bring that home for you. My daughter's car, she took it to a mechanic up here in Boston, and he writes back and says, "Yeah, there's a leak in the CV joint." I'm like, "You know what? I'll wait on that." A month or two later, her car's back in the shop for something else, and the guy sends me a video saying, "Hey, look at the CV joint. It's leaking." And I could see where it was a problem.
And now,
all right, we're going to do the work.
Right. Yeah.
Because I saw it. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what's video?
Sold.
Right?
Exactly.
It also saves a ton of time because in the old days, or for dealers that aren't using this, the mechanic has to go back and send his report to the service advisor. Now the service advisor has to try to get the customer on the phone. I'm in a meeting. I can't do anything. And now he's waiting, and that car is sitting on the rack, and the mechanic is sitting there wondering what to do next. Do I leave it up there or take it down and bring in another car? And now all of a sudden I'm sitting in that same meeting, and a little text pops up on my phone. And without disturbing my meeting, I can see that video, and I can click that button that says authorize or approve.
Yeah.
And I'm off to the races, and everything just happens faster.
Yeah, Richie, I mean, so many tools that make the customer experience an incredible one, a memorable one. And now that we're going to be talking about some kind of a software tool or product that's going to bring all these tools together under one house. What do you think?
That's great value, and that's why the tool's called Value. Let me just share something. This Fixed Ops is bigger than car sales, as far as I'm concerned. Car sales is car sales. You need to sell cars to stay in business and service. It was always like that. But the average customer spends about $1,400 to $1,600 a year between recall, service, and all that stuff, And we have that data. That's why we know that, right? But the biggest thing is that having a product line that it's not, Mr. Dealer, just a widget, like a lot of these people. Widget leads, right? Widget leads. This is so much. This is like a game changer as far as I'm concerned, because now you got sales, leads, conversion, and now you got service conversion. That's key. That is really, really a game changer. And now I understand why Larry Feldman has you guys as a sponsor. It's out like a sore thumb, because the more people that know about this, boom, you're going to sell right away. And that's a great product. If I'm a dealer, I'm getting it. If I'm an automotive group, I'm really getting it, because now with that whole process, I'm able to monitor everything and see what's working. If it's working for my Honda store, I put it in my Toyota store and I find out what the numbers are, because I'm sure you got a dashboard. And now I look as far as educating my people even better, right? Because that's why you have so many stores. So you got something like 6,000 dealerships, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Right.
So around for about 10 years. Yeah.
So that's the game changer right there. You know what I mean? That's a huge opportunity. And there's so many different facets. And let me ask you a question from your experience dealing with dealers. When a dealer first reaches out to you, or you go into the dealership, what is the first tool they get?
That's such a great question. Oh my God, I'm so glad. It almost sounded like a pre-scripted question. I want to tell everybody right now. I could have paid Richie to ask me that question. I wish I had thought of it. The answer is, Richie, it depends on the dealer. Because at Trade Pending, we don't go out, quote unquote, pitching products. We go into a store to solve problems. So I literally have a slide that shows multiple different problems that a store might have, whether it's they want to acquire more trade leads, or they want to pick up more inventory off the street, or whatever it might be. There's a million different reasons that a dealer might want to use us or might need us. Maybe they want to merchandise their inventory better, or increase their average RO, or be able to communicate better with their prospects. So I ask a dealer, take a look at that slide, point out what you think is the biggest need in your store. And once they tell me what the big needs are, then I've got a product that's going to fit that need. Okay.
So let me ask you a question. We all know, and for years, what is the biggest problem that a dealer has? You know, like what's the biggest problem they have a dealership? It's always about flipping their inventory, right?
Used car acquisition. To me, that's the thing that I hear bigger than anything else. Used car acquisition.
They always have a problem with that, because a dealer might be a good merchandiser, but he's not a good marketer. Or a dealer might be a good marketer and not a good merchandiser. So these two things have to do with inventory, unfortunately, because it's a combination of merchandising and marketing. It's a combination of both. Without them both, you got a problem. Okay.
Correct.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the average dealership has a problem with the inventory. So what you're saying is that you have a solution to flip that inventory. Is that correct?
I have a solution to help the dealer take in more inventory off the street, whether that's taking in more trades, or buying more cars from the public, or even getting cars out of their service drive. Because a lot of dealers will take our service tool widget.
Cool. And that's right there. That's how you clean your inventory, right? Because you can take in that trade at a really good deal, and then your other inventory depletes, right? The pricing drops, right? Because it's automatically going to drop, because now you're taking in more trade-ins, and that's one of a good solution that you have. I take in 10 trades. They're all at a great number, and I got 10 trades that are high. Guess what?
Yep.
They're going to go, because now I say, okay, no problem. Blow these 10 out, because I got these here that I bought. Right? And we all know that the money is made on the buy, not the sale.
Correct.
Boom. End the story. Right?
Right.
So that's a great solution. That's a solution that more dealers should really pay attention, right? And like, for example, like what we have is we have all the feeds, everybody's feeds. So we know the dealership that might need the product. This is not a want product, this is a need product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's a lot of dealers out there that their inventory is aging and aging and aging. This last month, we saw an increase on the turn of inventory. Now that has to do a lot because the whole spin with that thing that they put, you know, that big high percentage that the government put, right? So now the used car business You know, there's none of that. So now everybody's grabbing it, but there's still a problem. Now, if that stops, then that whole thing gets older again, because supply is not in demand anymore. What is in demand is customers. Let's address something right now.
Sure.
That's why it costs you $705 per acquisition, while COVID it was $400. So it went up $300, because when customers become, you know, on demand, then you got a problem, right? We always want supply on demand better. That's the perfect situation. So that's great. Now let's take another dive. Let's say that I have a service department.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is one of the major problems in the service department?
Sure. So I'll go back to when Owen and Kevin first built Fixed Ops Digital. They needed to know if they needed to know if there was a market for this product and for that service that they were going to be performing. So they surveyed a whole bunch of just general public. They threw a Google survey together and asked people, why do you not service your vehicle at the dealership? I was watching Family Feud last night. With the top 2 answers on the board, do either one of you want to give a guess why consumers said they don't service at the dealership? Either one of you?
Price.
Go ahead. Lee, what do you got? What do you think?
Price.
Price. It's too expensive. The dealership's too expensive. And the other one, number 2 on the board, was I don't know how much it costs. So the Service Offers tool, which was again known as Fixed Ops Digital, when we bought it, the name of the product now is Service Offers and Service Offers Pro. Service Offers knocks both of those out because it shows consumers, hey, look, our prices here are about the same as what you'd find at Goodyear, Midas, Jiffy Lube, Costco, and not only are they the same price or right around the same price and not more expensive, which blows away that first myth, but now the transparency is there because now the consumer can see, oh, I can come in and my alignment's going to be $149.95, and I get that there's a 10% off coupon there, for starting at $149.95. So there's just it's much more visible now. But even more important than that those 2 things, once we show the price and show what that offer is, now we need a way to suck people in. And there are 5 different calls to action built into these service offers. And they're very, very marketable as well. As far as dealers could send out a very simple email blast. Click here for all of our service specials, and then click here for service X, service Y, service Z, and take people directly to those individual service offer pages with those strong calls to action. It's an amazing product. And I will tell you, once a service manager gets their hands on this particular tool and they see the 2 big results, we make them more money and we save them time. Anyone on this call, anyone watching that doesn't want to make more money and save time, but these service managers, they get their hands on this tool and we become like their best friends, and they never want to leave us because they just love what the tool does for them and they can see it with that and all the analytics that we have to offer also. It's great. It was the missing piece. Well, it was the third. It brought us down to the 3-yard line, and then Value Watch brought us home and got us into the end zone. And then, like I said, that was the final piece that then started to connect sales to service. That's really what it's all about. Go ahead.
And how, from the trade-in perspective, how did it change the game from a walk around, from a participation of the customer? What's the? I'm used to my whole life, and even when I was on a sales floor for a dealership, it's have a seat. Would you like a cup of coffee? We'll be back. Someone's looking at your car.
Right.
That's it. Then you come back with a disappointing number usually because they want 4,000 more, and they want this, and they want, and there's absolutely no connection to the process. And I found that disappointing even when I had the job. And I find it disappointing whenever I go to a dealership. So
what we've done differently, and we're going to talk more about the online experience than the in-store experience.
Right.
Competitors out there, and I'll name them. AccuTrade, fantastic store, fantastic tool in store. But if you had 2 different websites, one with Trade Pending's trade tool on it, and another with, and I'm not even going to call out AccuTrade. I will say AccuTrade, Blue Book, Black Book, Edmunds, Carfax, eAuto Appraise, Trade and Valet. And you compare the process for the consumer, the shopper, to get from the starting line to the finish line being I just submitted a lead and got the information I wanted. My process, or the process that we use at Trade Pending, We refer to it as 2 steps in 10 seconds because Richie and Lee, all the customer has to do is type in your make, model, trim, followed by name, email, phone, and push the orange button.
That's it.
Your make, model, trim, name, email, phone. Well, David, what about VIN? Do you know your VIN, Lee, off the top of your head?
No.
Richie, do you know your VIN? Do you even know? Either of you know your license plate off the top of your head? So guess what? You can get that later. What we want to do is take a live human being that's on a dealership's website and get their information and get it into the CRM. But at the same time, we want to give the consumer what they're asking for quickly and easily.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said, and I've seen a lot of these platforms, the widgets. I always said, those are great tools if you didn't have notifications. So here I'm talking to Lee, and Lee says, Richie, I want to know what my car's worth. Okay. Now I need the VIN number. And now I get a notification of a bank, or I get a notification of somebody. Boom. My head goes right out of the game. Instead of getting up and going to his car to get the VIN number, right? I get involved in something else. And then Lee gets busy. He watches me. Shit, Richie must be busy. Let me walk away from him. Usually that's what he puts in his head. Then he walks away, and then it never gets done. So that kind of solution is great. I want to talk about, we understand that, how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
But so the service thing, right? So there's a couple of things in service.
Yep.
There's something called effective labor rate, and then there's something labor rate. Before the show, you told me about that video. So you take a video and you send it to Lee. This is what your car should look like, because service is not like buying a car. Service, nobody sees it, right? So you don't really know anything. It's like buying air, you know? You got to tell them, listen, this. So now this is what it looks like, and this is that. That helps the effective labor rate.
Yes.
Why does it help? And let's talk about why. Because that car's already there. That service advisor doesn't have to go to the counter and say, listen, this customer needs this. Bang. You got it right there.
Yeah.
So now that digital platform that you have right there, I always say awareness is key. You're making the customer aware of their problem.
Yeah. So here's what happens with effective labor rates, and I think I'm speaking to this the right way. 2 big things are going to happen. One, that car is going to get on and off the rack faster, or on and off the lift faster, because the work is getting approved faster. But more importantly, or as importantly, we're adding more ROs to that line item. Because if I brought my car in for for 4 new tires, right? But while the car is up there, they're able to send me the video and say, hey, dude, you need brakes. And also this, and this are going on. Again, there was only going to be 1 line item on there, tires, set of tires. Now there's going to be this, and this, because these were all the things that were found and proven to me by just that simple mechanic. I don't mean a simple mechanic. The mechanic taking the simple process of taking that video and sending it out to the customers so they can see the work that needs to be done. It also becomes a time saver for me, because, man, if I had done the tires today and then gone home and then realized I got to come back to the shop later on to do the rest of the work, I don't want to do that. That's 2 trips to the shop. I mean, again, people don't love going to the shop to get their work done, right? But as easy as we can make it for the customer, the better. So if I can get all the work done at once, great. It's all done. I went in for tires. I got this, and this done as well. The dealer's happier because now my RO reads like a phone book instead of reading like just 1 line. It's got.
Well, that's amazing, because what's really amazing, the whole thing with effective labor rate is this. I give a laundry list to the service guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That car's got to come off the lift so I can bring the next one. Because then I have 10 cars that I'm working, and now the approvals start coming in. So now it comes in. So the little bit of the effective labor rate drops in, pulling out and pulling in, pulling out 10 times a day. You do this 10 times a day. Oh, Richie, our customer pay labor is crazy. Oh, really? That's good. What about your effective customer pay labor? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Well, why not? Because that goes right into the bottom line. Everybody says about labor rate, CPL. Okay, good. So now if you take warranty work, right, and put your effective labor rate, you see it sky high. Why? Because it's already approved. Who's not going to approve warranty work, right?
Yep.
Who's not going to approve recalls, right? But now on CPL, you need that same thing. So this product is a game changer because of that, because you're going to increase your effective labor rate. That's key. Just like in the used car department, you're getting rid of, you're blowing out old age inventory, and now you got the effective labor rate. Two things that cost a lot of money. One is tremendous cash flow. Tremendous, okay? The more you hold the inventory, the worse your cash flow is, okay? Boom. And the effective labor rate, your profits. Bye-bye birdie. You know what I mean? Your effective labor rate's on the floor. Your CPL is great. Bye-bye birdie. That's what it is, okay?
Absolutely. You mentioned recalls before. We have a giant widget right at the top of the service offers page. It could be at the top, the bottom, both, whatever. All it asks for, name, email, phone, and a license plate number, right? Name, email, phone, and the license plate. Most people can look outside and spot their plate, or they have it. Easy enough to get. Once that happens, when I put in ABC123 Florida in my name, email, phone, two things happen. First of all, I get notified, okay, David, here's the recalls that exist right now, with just enough information to pique my curiosity and make me realize that it's important. It's not going to go into everything, but it's going to tell me that there are these two recalls open. But also it pushes a lead to the dealership. So now the dealer can call me back. Hi, David, I see that you were checking for your recall status. There are 2 open recalls. David, by the way, in looking at your file here, looks like you declined service on your brakes 2 months ago. Why don't you bring the car in this week? We'll get the we'll get the recall work done. And you want to get those brakes done now also? So here's what I would challenge dealers with. Go to your website right now. Find out where the button or the banner or the link or something is where you can do a recall check. I'm going to bet that more often than not, those links are going to point to either your OEM site or they're going to go to the NHTSA site, where you're going to type in your information and they're going to say, yes, there are open recalls. Go to dealer X, Y, or Z to get that work done. So you just generated a lead for 2 other stores.
Right.
Not with our tool.
It's your own special third-party lead system.
Correct. With our tool, we're going to keep people on your website, Mr. Dealer, and that lead is only going to go to you. And it works so well. It's just such a great system and great program. So glad we
really is. I mean, it really is from the service perspective. And we didn't even get into this. What is it going to do for your parts department? It's going to increase because, you're getting more customers. You're converting more fixed op business. Right. So it's taking every department.
Yes.
All I need you to tell me is it also has warranty now. You can even sell warranty. That's all I need you to tell me, because it covers the whole spiel of it. Explain to me, earlier today you were saying about the value, right?
Yes.
That product. Explain to me that product. I'm really interested in listening to that.
Brand new product that we just rolled out at, like I said, at NADA. And I'm going to ask you just to imagine this. Maybe you've seen this commercial before that Carvana's been running. It's with the husband and wife actor team, Kristen Bell and her husband, Dax Shepard. And they're grabbing phones and iPads and computers, and they're tracking the value of their vehicle. Oh, look at that. That car went up. This car went down. What do we do now? Hold? No, sold. And it shows how the message is, go to Carvana.com to track the value of your vehicle. And once a month, Carvana will send you an email or a text that says, okay, this is what your car is worth. So we saw that. And you guys might know the ASOTU people, the Automotive State of the Union people, right? Kyle and Paul.
Yeah.
On their podcasts about a year ago, they called us out. Hey, Trade Pending and Kelly Blue Book and AccuTrade and everyone else who does trade values, why aren't you doing what Carvana is doing for their dealers? Mm-hmm. And we saw that and we heard that challenge. And my product and my dev team went to work. And now picture this. A customer can be on a dealer's website and see a button that says track your vehicle value, or maybe you get an email from the customer, from the dealer saying, hey, at XYZ dealership, we want to do something special for you. And just like you track the value of your home or the value of your stock portfolio, click this link and now you can start tracking the value of your vehicle. And you'll see where this is going here. So now, unlike Carvana, because what does Carvana not do? Hello to the person in the background there. What does Carvana not do? They don't service, right? But these dealerships service. And these dealerships that have my service offers page and have my trade tool, now we're going to connect the two. And here's how we're going to do it. Someone's going to go onto that dealer's website. They're going to type in their year, make, model, trim, name, email, phone. They're going to plug in their miles. They're going to choose email or text. And every month, we're going to send them that email or text. Now watch this. In that email, it's going to say, hi, David, the value of your 2019 Camry is now between this much and this much. Last month, it was worth between here and here. If you're ready to sell or trade, do this. Here's where it comes home. But if you're not ready to sell or trade, guys, what's the best way to maintain your vehicle's value? Service your vehicle. Click here to see more service offers. Bam. And now it drives them right back to that service offers page. So think about this. We need to build, dealers want to build a subscriber base here. That's what they're building, right? Because everyone who does that now becomes a subscriber.
Right.
And now two things are happening. Every single month, Trade Pending is putting the dealership's name in front of their customers, their prospects, every single month with that message, right? And again, you stay top of mind when it comes time for me to sell my car or trade my car. I'm thinking of the dealer that's been in touch with me every single month, and there's zero lift from the dealer to do that.
Right.
The other thing that it's doing, Lee, pretend you're a used car manager. You look at this subscription list and you look out on your lot and you realize, because you're at a Chevy store, oh my God, I'm down to my last 2 Silverados. I don't have enough Silverados out there. So now you look at that subscriber list and you see that Richie here has been tracking his 22 Silverado for 6 months now. And it's gone down in value this much money. Hey, Richie, listen, this is Lee over here at the dealership. I noticed you've been tracking the value of your Silverado for the last 6 months and it's gone down $3,000. We really need your truck. I can put all the money in it. Why don't you bring it in and let us get you into a new Silverado?
So it's a prospecting tool.
Bingo, Ringo. But they're not leads. We don't want dealers picking up.
It's not leads. It's prospecting.
Yes,
you have to prospect customers. You got to build your pipeline. That's good because now there's a reason you're making it into a reason to call. And I know a little bit about prospecting.
Yes,
just a little bit.
It gets better though, Richie. It gets better. Every single person, if a dealer has my trade tool and they have my service offers tool, first of all, we're running a promotion right now, just for anyone who's watching right now. When you buy my service offers tool, we are giving you, this is an introductory offer, the Value Watch tool for free on top of that. How long is it free, David? For as long as you keep service offers, you're going to get to keep Value Watch. That is not going to last forever, okay? I would imagine, but maybe not even beyond the end of this month. But right now, it is a buy one, get one free. First time we've ever done a buy one, get one free at Trade Pending. Wow. But let's go back to this. For my dealers that have my trade tool, if Lee is a prospect and he goes to the website and fills out his year, make, model, trim, name, email, phone, and uses that trade tool, he's going to automatically now become a subscriber. So we're even going to go back 90 days and grab the last 90 days worth of trade leads and make those people subscribers.
And I got to say this about that. I know that tool works. You know why I know that tool works? 6,000
dealers can't be wrong.
Well, no, I was in Orlando in 2019 while COVID, and I had the opportunity to fly out to CarMax headquarters in Virginia, and they wanted to show me a product line. Their product line is with that customer. Remember, CarMax took in more trades while COVID than anybody.
Yep.
Well, this is why. They had this beautiful analytics, right, on the car, what it was worth when you bought it, what could it be worth now, and what's going to be worth within the next 6 months. And they blew up. If you look while COVID at their stocks, blew up like off the crazy. Yeah. Why? Because they took in so much. They became a dominator in the car business back then of trade-ins, okay? Right. Using tools like that. And they weren't even using the tool. All it was analytics and sending it over, right, to your email and your SMS because they had it. And it blew up.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had a meeting with them. It took me 2 days to be there. I stayed there for 2 days and they showed me the whole thing. Right. And they showed me what the scale it was. And they were generating lead gen from that and generating trade-ins
Yes.
from that and generating service business, because we all know the more trade-ins you take, the more reconditioning you do. That's like, obviously, right? Bang,
Yep.
right? So all around, it's a huge profit center.
Yep. And listen, right now with all this tariff talk that's out there, if people are going to be more likely to hold their cars because they're still upside down, interest rates are still crazy, new car prices are going up, used car prices are going up, what's the public going to do? They're going to hold their cars longer. If they're holding their cars longer, they're going to need more service. They're going to be taking care of those cars. They have to take care of those cars. So our service offers tool is perfectly poised and perfectly positioned for what may come if this tariff action stays in play and these car prices do go up. You hear 6,000, 9,000, 12,000 on average that these new cars are going to go up. And again, if that happens there, it's going to happen on used cars too.
Right.
People are going to hold their cars longer. And now the entire trade pending suite, my trade tool, how valuable is that now? Because every dealer needs to get as many trades as possible. Because God knows nobody wants to go to the auction, stand next to the guys in the blue and yellow shirts that just keep their hands up all the time, and also then pay that transport fee and the buy fee and the protection fee. Wouldn't you rather have Mr. and Mrs. Jones bring that car right to your lot and take it in on trade, where you're not competing against anyone else, at least at the lot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, on that note, we're just going to break away for 1 minute for a retention minute with JP. Get ready for the music. It's a kicker.
JP Burkemper here with Vinsight. Let's quickly talk about customer retention. Now, every dealer should know that selling the car is just the beginning. But in reality, too many stores are treating their customers like one-time transactions. Now, the stats don't lie. According to NADA, customer retention is at an all-time low. Meanwhile, the cost to acquire a new customer is higher than ever. So this means if you're not keeping your existing customers engaged, you're paying a premium just to replace them. Here's the reality. Your competition is not just other dealers. There's service chains, online retailers, auctions, even the OEMs themselves, all trying to pull your customers away. So retention is not just about service reminders. It's about building long-term trust and value and doing it right away. The dealers winning in this space are the ones focusing on post-sale engagement, personalized offers, making it easy for customers to return. Retention is not an afterthought. It's a strategy. And in a market that is this competitive, the dealerships that prioritize this will dominate. So if you're not focusing on customer retention today, you're already losing. Okay, so with Vinsight, you sell them, we keep them coming back.
All right, we are back and still talking to David Lowitz with Trade Pending. Richie, anything else that you got here? Any closing thoughts for our show today?
I'm just excited. I'm going to meet you, David. You're going to be at the event of Larry's. I'm going to be there also. I'm just excited that I got the opportunity to put you on the podcast. I'm really excited that you're the first one that we put on there, and I'm looking forward to engage more with your company, because there's a lot of dealers out there that you guys got already, but just take this into consideration. It's 19,621 new car franchises. Forget about used cars for a minute, okay? And then you got about 3,500 or 4,000 used cars that have a service center. 4,000, okay? And that sell anywhere between 60 or better used cars. Wow, you got a game changer happening. I would like to engage more. Maybe we could set up a Zoom with us and our team and you and your team and really, really show you one of the product lines that we got that is a game changer. And already you guys are a brand.
Oh, yeah. And I would invite all dealers to do this. Let us look at your website. Let us take a good holistic look at it, top to bottom, and tell you or show you, here's where you're missing, here's where you're missing, here's where you're missing. Because I can look at a dealer's website the same as a doctor looks at an MRI or an X-ray, and I can see what's broken, and I know how to fix it. The whole team of Trade Pending. We can all do this. It's what we do every day. And again, we're not there to pitch product. We're there to solve problems. So if you don't need one of our tools, we're not going to present it to you. We're not going to show it to you. But I would ask a dealer, if you have any questions, any doubts, any thoughts about the tools that are on your website, let us know. We'll give you a very, very quick and easy look and a quick and easy review to point out exactly what can be changed and how that can help you go from here to here.
And we didn't touch base on this, but that'll be for the next show. The platform has a great tool that nobody's looking at, opt-in data. Oh. Phone, cell phone, and email, and person's name and last name. I mean, the opt-in was good back, a while ago when there was VIN numbers. Who wants VIN numbers opt-in? What do you do with a VIN number? Stare at it? Okay. This has opt-in data, 4 points of data, 4 contacts of data. Wow. And that's another thing that we didn't even touch base. What could you do with that valuation? That's a huge valuation, because when you tie it in to the VIN number, it becomes a whole different valuation. So that is data of valuation.
And I'll wrap this up very quickly here. Not only are we collecting name, email, and phone, but dealers have the option. They can tell us to turn it on or off two-factor authentication. So Richie puts in his real name, but then he puts in a fake phone number and a fake email address. When he clicks the enter button, that lead was captured, but now we're going to send you a 4 or 6-digit code. And if you don't enter that information, you don't get to see your report. The dealer can still have your information, but we're going to make sure that they're not
means that you have double opt-in, which
this is the two-factor authentication. Yes, correct.
Right. Which today is key. It's basically double opt-in. When you send out a code, you double.
Yeah, and if I can I go on for 30 more seconds about one more thing here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Not only are we collecting the leads and saying, hey, Lee, you're the internet manager. Richie came to your website and he wanted to value his trade or calculated his payment or schedule a test drive or get pre-qualified. But now we're also showing you what Richie's been doing on your website. So Richie wants to trade in his 21 Silverado, but we can see here that he's looked at 6 different 2025 Silverado 1500s, right? And we know that they were all silver or gray. Lee, what are you going to start sending?
Target time. It's target time.
Information about 25 Silverados, because you can see he was there a week ago, and then 3 days ago, and then 18 minutes ago. And this one truck he's looked at 7 times, whereas the other ones he's only looked at once.
Right.
Now, one he's looked at 7 times, that's the object of his desire. That's the truck he's going to buy. So we're giving dealers all of that information also. It is a complete game changer. The entire platform, and I'll close with this, every single tool that we have built or bought, we're all done so they could all work together and form an entire platform and give consumers an easier shopping experience when they're on the dealer's website, and give the dealers an easier to process and handle lead when it comes in.
Tell them how to find you, David. How would you like them to reach out?
I've got the hardest email address in the entire world, david@tradepending.com.
Forget it.
That's easy.
Right.
Yeah.
David@tradepending.com.
Hey, David, let me ask you something. What is your title there? I want to wrap it up with this. What is
I am the Senior Regional Sales Manager. You're going to love this territory. I handle Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, the boot part of Louisiana, and 3 provinces in Western Canada.
Trade Pending has a really good product. Trade Pending helps people fix their problems. But the other thing I got to add to Trade Pending has one of the best sales managers that I have ever met in this business. Your content is beautiful, but your delivery is next to none.
Thank you, Richie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David, so much for that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your communication abilities. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you,
and thanks to everyone out there for watching and listening. And hope you had a good holiday if you celebrated this weekend. And we will catch up with you again next week.
Take care.
Thank you.